Witch's Hill.
All right, well, welcome back to Witch's Hill. I'm Pat.
I'm Tim.
And today we're going to be talking about some of our paranormal experiences. But
we're also going to go into some of the investigations we've done recently.
Yeah.
And then we're going to end it with a review of Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark.
So spoilers coming. Watch out.
Yeah, major spoilers. Yeah. This is the first time we've actually successfully got the spoiler alert at the beginning of the episode before we get
start. Too hyped up. And
then it's right before the spoiler. Hey!
Yeah. But if you have any inquiries that you would like to contact us about, you can go ahead and send anything that you have to witcheshillradio@gmail.com.
And, as you lovely people are doing right here, you could always go to facebook.com/witcheshillradio and join in on episodes, because we're live.
Oh, yes. We are live right now. And if anybody has any spooky stories to tell us, go ahead and comment in the comment little bar thing there. Look at all those faces.
Look at all those faces.
Look at all
of that. Who made an angry face?
I don't know. Maybe they didn't like the word spooky.
That was fuck you.
I'm going to come back and put another angry face here later.
Oh, someone just put an angry face.
I think that was Nikki. She's giggling in the corner.
Okay. As long as we know where it's coming from.
No, the first one wasn't me.
Okay, well, so...
We'll find you.
We'll find you.
We'll find you.
All right.
But yeah.
So where do you want to... Now, we've gone through some of our paranormal personal experiences throughout our lifetime, and we have them, as we have said before. It's all kind of in a nice little list in Pat's little
list.
In Pat's little journal there.
Yes. My little diary that has a princess key lock thing.
Oh, it's got pretty little ponies on it.
Don't tell them that. They can't see it. I have up to 85 listed.
So, now, we have said some.
Yeah, we've talked about a few of these before.
So, why don't we skip over those and just start going down the list?
Okay, how about this? We go through our first paranormal experience.
Okay.
I say first because I don't know if this is literally my first. This is the oldest one I remember.
Okay.
For me, I was a little kid, and I was probably 5 years old, and I was in the front room of my house playing with my Legos. And everybody had Legos, spilled them all across the floor, so went nuts with that. And my dad at the time was in the bathroom. My mom was down the hall and off to the left in their bedroom. She was reading a book. So I'm sitting there playing with them, and all of a sudden I start hearing my dad's voice calling me, but not from the bathroom. From the other side of the house, up these stairs where my sister had just moved out from. It's just one room upstairs.
It's a creepy fucking room.
Yeah, it's terrifying. But I heard my dad's voice calling me from up there, just being like, "Pat, come here, Pat. I have something cool to show you." So I'm 5, and I'm like, "Dad, what are you going to show me?" So, I open up the door, and I start walking up, and I get to maybe the second or third stair, and I hear this low rumble of a growl, and just instincts took over, and without turning my back to the darkness upstairs, I just jumped off the stairs.
Just backwards?
Yeah, literally. I Mario'd it backwards.
Did you? Okay, but that's a really low ceiling, and I know you were young. Did you smack your fucking head on it?
No, this is one of the one times I didn't.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I've done it before, but no, this was straight back and then down. I didn't jump up and hit anything. It was just back the fuck up.
Because that would have been pretty funny.
Yeah.
Hit your head on the ceiling, then you fall and hit your face on the floor.
It's God, there's ghosts!
And then the demon gets you.
Yeah, I just dragged up into the darkness.
Probably be pretty bad.
Yeah, that hurt. That would hurt. But I heard my dad's voice calling me from upstairs, so I backed up and I took off running, and I went into my mom's room, and I told her, "Hey, well, did you call me?" And she's like, "No, maybe your dad did." I'm like, "Fucking hope so." So I went over, banged on the bathroom door, and my dad could barely hear me over the water. The water was louder than him talking. So that just kind of gives you the audio level of what he would be able to hear and what he would actually be able to produce. So I went white in the face and just ran back up to my mom and just "So I think somebody's upstairs." So things got unraveled a bit. My dad thought there was an intruder in the house, and he runs upstairs, and he's got a bat. And now this is the messed up thing, is that I hadn't been up there since my sister had just moved out. So when I go up there, everything is packed up. There are boxes coming up to me, at the time, up to my upper waist area. So probably not I don't know, thigh area. But there was no way for anybody to walk up there.
Okay.
So that was one thing I really could not explain. It was in my dad's voice, And it was so convincing, except for that fucking growl.
How old were you?
I was like 5.
That's creepy. That's just
like when everything started. I mean, more and more shit happened throughout the years, but as far as I know, that's like the oldest one I can remember.
I guess one of my earliest ones has to be... what would it be? We had a friend long time ago that he had a near-death experience when he was really, really young, and ever since then he said that he was always able to like actually vividly see ghosts and really pick up on that energy. And so he started trying to tell us the little things that you could kind of look out for that you might be sensing something. And one of the days I was over hanging out, we were, God, I haven't actually thought about this story in a long time. We were just hanging out, and they had an EMF detector, and they said, why don't you bring it home? See what you can find. So it was, the way that this one worked is you had to like hit the button, and it would stay on for 5 minutes and then turn off. So he hits the button right when I start driving home, and it's like maybe a 7-minute drive back to my house from there. And as I'm going, the EMF detector's sitting in the passenger seat, and it's just nonstop spiking up and beeping like crazy. And I keep looking at it like, okay, this is a little weird, but there's power lines around, so you know what? I'm not going to put any faith in that. That's stupid. And then I turn down this one road, and there's just trees, a few scattered houses. There's no power lines. There's nothing. And this thing is going crazy. And then I start getting a little worried, so I grab it and move it over and like took out the battery. And I'm just like, okay, put it back in, didn't turn it on, and put it back down. I'm like, all right, let's just leave that there for a minute. But then I got curious after like another, I don't know, minute or two. So I hit it again, and it still kept spiking. As soon as I turned into our neighborhood, though, it goes down. And there's power lines around our neighborhood. So
yeah.
that made me really like, okay.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
Still active, what the hell?
Yeah.
So I guess that would be kind of like my first experience. Some ghost probably hitched a ride in my car.
Isn't that the story about like Resurrection Mary in Chicago? Like she hitches a ride, and she's like, hey, I gotta get someplace, and you pick her up, and then she's like, poof, out of your car.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that's what happened.
Yeah.
I just couldn't see.
She doesn't like paying her Uber driver.
Yeah, fucking cheap ass. What the fuck?
Gonna hunt her down?
Tip your fucking drivers, people. Come on.
Just because you're dead doesn't mean you can't pay up.
Yeah, come on.
But
so that goes over our first experiences.
Yeah, yeah.
What would you say is one of your more fucked up stories? Because this I know is something that everyone's got to be wondering. You have a million experiences. What's the worst one that happened?
The worst one?
Let's say the one that is just something that you would classify as terrifying.
The events leading up to me getting marked on my throat.
Okay, that one was in our last episode, so
yeah,
I don't want to go into that one again.
Yeah.
But tune back. Going to need to download our last one.
I talked about it, but I didn't say quite everything that led up to it. But
what about the door?
The door? Which one? With the dog?
The closet door.
Okay, the closet door.
Oh.
Yeah. All right.
That's one.
So this was when I was a kid, and both my parents had not moved out. they left me the house, guys.
He was a kid.
Yeah,
Here you go, little bastard.
They went to work, and I was sleeping sometime in the summer, and I woke up to my closet door, and I shit you not, getting ripped off its hinges. The hinges are still in the room, twisted. It's metal. There's no way for this to happen, not from just like pulling on it or... I mean, you'd have to be really fucking strong to be able to literally twist this type of metal.
Yeah.
But I woke up to the cracking of this door, breaking off and flying into my door to get out of my room.
Which is about a good, that's about a good
3 feet?
2-3 feet, I would say.
But the force that it hit the main door with, it put a dent into the wood and ripped down my poster. So my initial reaction is just to scoot up in bed and just the fuck is that? Yeah, just I don't know what to process anything. Just what the fuck just happened? So I have to sit there for a few minutes, and I finally get the courage, and obviously I'm shaking. He's like, "What happened?" And so I walk over
just like that.
Yeah, just. So I walk over, I pick up the door, and I place it up, and I'm like, okay, maybe it just came undone. Maybe the bolt came loose or something.
That reminds me of just the thoughts that went through my head when I first broke my arm when I was 15, and it's like bent straight up that way. And I remember looking at that thinking, oh, it's just bent. I'll bend it back. It's fine. And then it didn't, so I was like, oh, duct tape that. Duct tape, it'll be fine.
Well, I couldn't duct tape a door. At least to the hinge. I wouldn't be able to get into it.
I mean, you need a lot of duct tape.
Yeah, I didn't have any. And I was home alone. So, yeah,
Because your parents moved out.
Yeah, because my parents moved out back to their work. But, yeah, I was there home alone. Door breaks my other door. And so I picked it up, put it into the corner, and that's when I noticed the metal that was twisted. And so I'm sitting there like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Like, there's nothing in my room. My dog is out in the other room. So I open up the door, and I try to get him into my room. And he gets up to the threshold of the door, just looks in, his hair goes up, and he gets down on all fours.
He's done this a couple times. I vividly remember that dog. He would not come in. He would growl at corners.
It's only that room that he did not want to enter. He'd enter other rooms and still be like sketched out, but he would not enter that room.
It was only sometimes though, because there was other times he came in all willy nilly.
Well, yeah, that's why it was weird that he stopped because this was after the fact that he actually would come into that room.
Yep.
Because that wasn't always my room. But with those facts aside, I finally just kind of grabbed him by the collar and pulled him in. I'm just like, you're coming here with me. And so I brought him back over by the bed. And he curls up around me and faces back towards where the door is because it's like right in the corner. Right over here is my door to leave, and right over here is the closet door. And that's where it fell. And he just stops, ignores me, and stares into the darkness of my closet. And he just starts growling. And you met that dog, Bam.
Yeah, he was awesome.
He's so nice. He didn't growl at anybody.
No.
So, I don't know. That one was very, very off-putting. Yeah, and I left my house.
I like that one. That one, I know it's your misfortune, but I just like that story. It's
I got interesting stories that have happened, but what the fuck? Whether that be something paranormal or not, I don't know how to explain that. If it had just fallen, I'd be like, okay, it broke. It maybe it's something I didn't see, but literally, you could see the metal twisted. No, you can get the fuck out of my house.
All right, I'm gonna throw a curveball at you right now. Do that one. Oh, that one too.
He cannot pick a number. You know what? If you guys want me to pick a random story, then pick a number 1 through 85. If we've talked about it in recent memory, we won't go over it. I'll cliff note it really quick. You can go into one of the other things and hear the other stories there. But I dinged, guys.
Your phone's not on silent.
No.
How? Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm a monster. So
17. We already have one.
Wow, that was the number that you just looked at too.
Ha! That was the number I pointed to the first time.
Well, this was one of the events that led up to me getting marked on my throat. Was at one point I heard a guy and a girl fighting, and now I didn't live in the greatest area growing up, but
I mean it's not great, but it's not.
It's not the worst. No. I'm not saying it. I'm not saying anything like that. I'm just saying it's not unheard of to hear, the rednecks shooting off their shotguns or
when we were kids, yeah.
Yeah, or breaking bottles and stuff. So that's why I was sitting upstairs. This is when I eventually got the balls and moved up there. And I'm laying up there and I hear a guy and a girl just arguing, just full blown, yelling at each other, but I can't hear anything very distinctive of exactly what they're saying. It's just, but you could hear there's some type of dispute, and it got so loud that it sounded like they were right in our backyard. And the people around us back in the day, they didn't party, they didn't do anything. They were a bit older, very kept to themselves. So it was kind of out there. It wasn't until outside of our block. So that really put me off. And then I hear glass breaking, which sounded like somebody chucking a bottle at a ground or maybe even a window breaking. And immediately after that glass breaking, I hear footsteps running up my fucking stairs.
And okay, at this time, the way that the room upstairs was set up is, like he said before, it's just like you got this staircase that goes up, and then there's this like railing that comes up, so it's like a
banister.
Yeah, like a half wall, and then you have the whole room outside of there. So his bed is on the other side of that banister, so he hears that, and just there's a wall right there, so he's just looking, waiting, watching.
And nothing ever came, so I'm just sitting there just like, no. No, what do I do?
I am willing to bet $5 that that's the exact noise you made too.
Yeah, I don't doubt that. No, I probably made so many little bitch noises. It's like, no. It looks like the next number is number 7.
Number 7. Before we get into this, do you want to just throw a quick little thing about one of the investigations we've done?
Sure.
What do we want to? Which one do we want to do?
Well, in one of the most recent ones, like the Elgin one, you were told to die or something. No, wait, no. It said the camera was focused on you, and it said death.
That was when I was sitting in the back room by myself, which I'm not gonna lie, that back room was real fucking creepy. That video's up, right?
Yeah, that's on our YouTube.
You can go to YouTube. What do they need to search up to find that?
Just Witches Hill Radio Investigations.
And yeah, there you go.
Yeah, it's titled Elgin. So
I mean, we didn't get much at that, but
no, we didn't.
Hearing that was just kind of like, oh, it's a
Yeah.
little awkward.
Yeah.
I mean, you felt it so much. It was almost like the air in there was just.
It was very, very dense in that room. It was very heavy.
Very heavy.
It's really hard to explain. But, I mean, unless you've done stuff like that before, like you've gone into a dark, abandoned place with nobody and felt like, oh, there's somebody standing behind me. But you know there's not, then, you know.
Our friend, and she's been on the episode past episodes many times, Shelby, if you're still watching, me and her said the same thing when we first walked into that basement. It's like, oh, there's where all the dead bodies are buried.
Yeah, it looked almost like a makeshift trench in the basement.
Yeah, and it's like maybe 3 feet from the wall to where these like wood slats are laid across.
Yeah,
and then there's just a tarp over it all the way around.
It's like a makeshift mausoleum.
It's creepy as hell.
Yeah, and we did a little song ritual down there, which you can see pretty much in its entirety. We had cut out a lot of stuff because we don't want to bore you. Made it as watchable as possible with the little amount that we found. We did find some stuff, but nothing to really substantiate a big haunting.
Yeah, nothing to really say definitively like, there's something here.
Yeah. We want to show the lengths that we go to show what we can possibly find, whether it be good or bad, and doing it in our own unique way, as well as trying other, let's say, macabre ways of doing things.
Macabre?
Well, test the waters, you know? Not everything works for everybody, so. And I mean, if we can find something, let's do it. If not, oh well. Oh, thank you, Veronica.
So, okay, now she said number 7, so why don't we go ahead and... What is that?
That's number 8.
No, never turn off the lights. What's never turn off the lights? Guys, what's that?
If I'm remembering that one correctly, that one is just in the house. Just never turn off the lights.
In your house?
Yeah.
Oh God.
I mean, no, you live there too, so you're just like, why?
No, dude, every time I open up our bedroom door and I see one of the lights is off, I get so skeeved. Because we usually have like a light on.
I know I've said this in one of the beginning Paranormal Experience episodes. I used to live at his house, and I lived in the room you guys are currently in right now.
Yeah. This story is why I sleep against the wall.
Really?
Yes.
I'm not gonna lie, I still stare into that closet from time to time because I'll hear noises in that room when the cats aren't in there.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Like I said, I lived there. I was sleeping facing the wall, and because I had my bed in like a corner, and there was a closet right on the other side, and I had my girlfriend at the time sleeping right next to me, and I think we were in a fight. I don't know. I was like annoyed or something, so I'm sleeping facing the wall. You remember that time.
I do
It was
remember.
not a good time. So I'm facing the wall, and I wake up to my girlfriend just physically shaking really bad. And she hears me move around, and she just like quickly grabs onto me, and she's like, "Did you just grab me?" I was like, "No, I just woke up." And then she starts getting really fucking freaked out. And she's telling me that while she's sleeping, she's facing the other way. And I guess at some point, she's like half asleep, but someone just, and I'm going to demonstrate this on you. She felt a hand grab her thigh and squeeze like that. I don't think that was that enjoyable. What? Startling.
I was hoping you were just going to continue it on, not let all of Facebook see how weird I am.
I'm going to emphasize it.
Yeah, Lil's seen that room too.
I didn't pick up on it. She said someone just grabbed her, and then she looked over and saw that I was facing the other way. So she just immediately just kind of froze up and just kind of went under the covers, covered herself up, and then she starts hearing breathing on her neck. And that's when she really started freaking out, and that's when I woke up. I lived in that house, maybe a year
Year and a half, somewhere around there.
I've never had anything happen to me.
Which is weird. You're the only one.
Oh.
I am the only fucking one.
Veronica wanted number 39, and that's weird. I was just talking about this too. This is the start of the Secret Fields.
Oh!
That was the start of
yeah.
the Secret Fields.
So, why don't we go through... Okay, well, I'll do all of it?
I do want to do all of it, because that was one thing I did bring up. Okay, this is going to be a long one. I'm sorry, but there's a lot of weird shit that synced up and just kept happening with more than just like one person. It was interwoven groups that went down there, and everything just kept happening.
And we have a tendency, ever since we were kids, if there was a certain cool hang spot we found anywhere around, they always got dubbed names.
Yeah.
And this was dubbed the Secret Fields.
Yeah, Secret Fields. Spot number 12.
This
Was it spot number 12?
No, there was spot number 9 in Ridge 13.
Ridge 13, spot number 9. Yeah, okay.
Don't ask.
Yeah, or the cabin before it got destroyed.
Ah, I missed the cabin.
Yeah, a lot of creepy places that you just kind of like find urban exploring.
Yeah, it was
But
fun.
number 39. Now this starts off a couple years back, actually. I think it was like 6-7 years ago.
Okay.
We went down there one day because like a bunch of weird shit had already happened to us. And somebody who I used to talk to and don't really talk to anymore said that weird shit was going on down there. So we ended up going down there trying to like investigate, brought tape recorders, the basics, just like a still frame camera. Nothing that we could really shoot in the dark because at the time we didn't have night vision. We didn't really invest too much into everything. Kind of went bare bones. So we're walking around and we started seeing this light at the end of this path, and we ended up turning around and running away because where this light was coming from is the river, and there's no houses right there. Like
No.
when you know the place, right when you're walking in, you're looking all the way down.
Yeah.
That's the river. Why is there a dangling light that's going like this, and it looks like it's getting closer? But as you're looking at it, you realize that the light is above the water. That was one of the times, and I had actually gone down there with Hess.
Okay.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Were you there when we found the face in the bush?
Maybe, because we went down there a lot.
Exactly. That a lot of this blurs together with me, but one of the big things that kicked off the first time was me, Hess, and it was either you or somebody else. We almost got chased out of there by this like overwhelming feeling that if you were to walk in any further, somebody or something's going to come out and get you from this darkness. It was like darker than dark, just so overwhelming. So we ended up turning back, and we didn't end up running out yet. We actually made it out because there's a trail. It opens up kind of like a half circle, and then there's another trail that leads you out into the road. So we made it out into this half circle, but along the sides of the brush, we looked back, and it looked like there was just pure white face just staring at us, like somebody was wearing a mask of some sort. And it was just there, and then it just went down. And we just took off fucking running. Ow, I kicked the table. But, yeah, we got chased back up into the road. And I believe that's where that time ends.
So then it just starts every time he kept going back, it just starts picking up now.
The second time, the most notable thing is that we went back down there. We were following these clues that this guy gave us. I don't want to mention him.
The clue.
Yeah, these clues. We got them from Blue, and he was giving us clues. We were looking for salt and pepper, guys.
We can follow that clue.
Not the Hartley boys. not that disturbing. But we get back down there, and this guy kept saying to bring gold, because this thing was telling him to bring this down there. And so I listened to the tape that we had originally brought down there, and you do hear some type of weird whisper behind us talking. But I don't believe the guy because he likes to pull pranks on people. I know I pull pranks on people too, but when I'm investigating or trying to find something and be serious about it, I'm going to be 100% serious about it. If we find something, we find something. If not, well then...
We found nothing.
Exactly. I'm not going to lie to anybody. Just be like, oh yeah, this is real, ha ha ha. No, I'm not going to do that shit. I mean, if we were in person, I might fuck with you for a second, but that's it.
One thing I want to just quickly put in, while we were in the Elgin house, I did try to fuck with them. We did this thing where since we only had the basement to work with, we've spent one person would go down for 10 minutes and just do their own solo investigation. We had a few stagnant cams, a voice recorder, and they had a night vision as they went through. And as it got near my 10 minutes, I'm just I didn't really feel like I caught anything. So since that back area looks like that's where the dead bodies are, I walk right into the corner, I cover up the light, and I'm just standing in the corner facing in.
Blair Witch style.
And I'm waiting for them to find me.
Yeah, I mentioned it early in the night, watch, you're going to find one of us just standing there and we're dead, we're screwed. And unfortunately we didn't have the camera on, but yeah, he was screwing with me. Because I turned around the corner, I was like, oh, get fucked. And I just start walking away. I'm sorry, if that's the case, you're not going to respond? No, Matt can get you, I'm done. Yeah. I'm done. But no, back to that.
Sorry.
No, you're good. It's good. But yeah, we're on the trail, and we thought there was this tree next to the path as we were leaving. And we had already done our investigations and stuff. And like I said before, dude was telling us to bring gold down there. We were hearing these weird whispers, but I didn't believe him because he's kind of a liar. So, like I said, I'm not going to say his name or anything, but I just don't believe the evidence that he was trying to give to us because it also sounded like him. Like when he was whispering.
Okay.
So I'm like, I don't know about that, but a lot of weird things added up because I started looking heavily into what he was saying, and it actually went along with this missing persons case. And I didn't know if he was setting me up for that, but I'm like, even today, I'm just like, man, do I go back there? Do I try to figure this out? But after some of the things that happen that you're going to hear about, I'm not going to go back down there because I don't want to die. Please don't die. No, thank you, Ryan. Thank you. I don't walk trails with Pat. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you talking about the noodle guy?
Yeah. Actually, this is in the area that this actually happened.
It's just a little past Secret Fields. Yeah. And this, I would say, at this point in the story, this happened. This involves Pat and Ryan and me and Rollo.
Yeah, you and Rollo were in the car, and me and Ryan got out and we were walking the path. And about halfway down, 3/4 of the way down where the wooden bridge is, we see this thing walk out of the darkness and stand in the middle of the path. And now this thing looks like it's the
way you described
Silent Hill.
No, it reminded me of either Silent Hill or the one creatures from Resident Evil 4 that you had to shoot those individual things.
Oh, those
yeah, they were just
things and they had the spikes
move
and
around like that.
Well, if you don't know that one, then it's if you've seen the movie Silent Hill, at the very beginning when the thing spits out that acid stuff onto the cop, it's moving like this, right? And there's no defining features, but it's slithering, and that's how this thing looked. But then it started coming quicker, and Ryan and I just 180'd and beelined it back. I called you, said turn around, come pick us up. You came back. You parked at the end of the trail, and we're running full force. Rollo opens up the door. He was like, all right, get in. And I just remember diving into that car. Just oh my God, what the fuck?
Go.
Like, that obviously could have been anybody, and we just, like, freaked out, but, like,
I mean,
the timing.
as Ryan says, that noodle man is still in my nightmares.
Yeah, it was unsettling just seeing that.
So this area is interesting. Let's go back to...
Yeah. So, yeah, by that time we had been down there. We were walking back, and we thought that there was, like, a tree next to the path as we were leaving. This is right after the opening and between the road. So we're like, we're right there. We're almost out. And we're staring at this thing, and we're like, I don't think that's a tree. There was never a tree there before. And there's no way a tree could have grown that quick in, like, 3 weeks.
Yeah.
It's just impossible. Unless somebody came back and just planted it there. So, I don't know. But we started walking away, and as we left, we got up onto the road. And we looked back, and now this giant shadow figure is standing on the path that we were just on. Now we're on the road walking back home, and we just see this figure just standing there. And I want to use the word glide. It glided down the path towards the mailbox and the
split off into the road.
Yeah, and right there, we took off and we ran. We didn't look back. We didn't come back for a while.
And then is this one me?
Yeah, this one was with you.
Ha! You guys saved my ass, and I'm so happy for that.
That was like the best group team effort in this one.
It really was.
Huh?
Your phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we were trying to show people the spot.
We brought a group of people there. There must have been like 7-8 of us.
Yeah, there was a big group. And we don't normally like to go and do like investigations or trying to find evidence with more people because it's really hard to diffuse or separate the noise clutter from something that you actually may hear.
Yeah.
It gets chaotic. And I personally just hate editing that. But we go down there, and unfortunately on our way down there we couldn't stop there because it was after hours and there was a cop like a couple blocks away. So we're like, we probably shouldn't go there. So we walked around for quite some time afterwards. And eventually on our way back we didn't go in, but we stopped just on the outskirts of it. So we were about to go down the trail, but we kind of decided against doing that. And we started walking away, and I want to say it was Rolo and there was one other person.
It might have been Hess. I don't remember. Rolo and someone else.
It might have been Dion.
They stopped.
It might have been Dion. And they're looking out into the field. And there's, like, the field part that they're looking at, there is nothing there. It's just overgrown weeds and stuff, a lot of shrubs. So I don't know why they were looking off into it, but they had this giant mag light, and they turned on the light and turned it off and just kept repeating the process. And I could overhear them just be like, "Do you see that? Do you see that? That's really weird." They're like, "Oh my god, wait, is that? Oh my god, it's getting closer!" And then they turn around and they just fucking run right past us.
And so we're just like, wait, what the fuck? So we...
Yeah, I didn't believe them on face value because I thought they were just... It sounded too much like a setup as I was getting like closer, and then they take off running. So I'm not gonna lie, I stopped for a moment and I was like, "Oh, bullshit."
I was right next to you, so I stopped with you.
Oh, I ate my words.
Yeah.
Oh,
because
man.
we start walking up, and we get about like, I would say halfway across the road. We're almost to the edge. And
I only took like 2-3 steps, so I don't know.
And then you just really quickly hear just running up the fucking
right in front of me.
And it's oh god,
it
I
sounded
heard
like
it.
boots against the pavement, and it just was in full sprint. Not even like a run or a jog, but like it was determined.
See,
whatever it was, you know.
The way I remember that sound vividly, it was like the Zuni doll from the Trilogy of Terror, just booking across at us, and we turned and we fucking ran. But like, I don't know, we got maybe 10 feet, and then my phone flies out of my hoodie.
Yeah.
And I scream and I stop. I'm like, "Oh god, my phone!"
Everybody stopped.
I didn't know this. I ran back, grabbed my phone. I look, everyone's there with me. I'm like, "Guys, I'm not gonna die alone."
Seriously, the second like you put your foot forward to stop, everybody did the same. We jumped back, and like we were looking past you.
Like, watch for him, give him cover.
Yeah, literally. It was just like, what are we gonna do? Throw the weakest, grab him, go. I don't know, but yeah, it was very, very dark, very dark.
So now I think we get to the last one of that.
Yeah, this is finally the end for the Silent
Secret Field.
Secret Field. My bad.
Don't even remember our own code
Oh,
words.
no. We had a different code name for the driveway. The driveway became an expansion of the Secret Fields because of this event. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Oh, man.
DLC.
Yeah. Who do I get to play as this time?
Area unlocked.
Yeah, it's a driveway. Oh, this is weird.
It's a really creepy driveway.
It's
It's
unsettling.
like
If you go down-
overgrown and broken up.
Yeah, there must have been a house that burned down. I don't
There
know
was.
how many fucking
It
years
was,
ago.
yeah,
There was.
that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
And just picture if there was like solid wooding all the way down this driveway and it just shoots down.
And the only thing that
That's fun,
remains
just
there
like-
is like, it almost looks like a pavilion
That
type
outline
thing.
of like a garage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but only the roof, and it has got like a basketball net on there. It looks like somebody's squatting there. Not gonna lie, I went down there. Oh, actually, one of our first photos on Witch's Hill, I think it's on our Facebook. If you see this long driveway and it just looks like it's like snowed, very gross looking, that's the driveway.
Yep.
That's the driveway.
Yep.
But one night I'm taking Nikki and Hess down there, and the entire way down there, Hess is kind of like fighting me on it. He doesn't really want to go down there. He's kind of skittish when it comes to certain things, and I understand it. It's not for everybody, but
Yeah.
I will say, like, he's got some balls because he does like going out and doing it. It's just not everything. There's certain things he won't do, and I don't blame him. There's certain things I won't do. But I kind of twisted his arm, and we started going down there. And it got to the point where, actually, there's a recording of this on our Facebook, or not Facebook, on our YouTube.
It's off my phone.
Yeah, we have the entire thing up on YouTube. We walk down there. We don't even make it down to the actual Secret Fields. We make it to the driveway, which is probably a block and a half away from the actual entrance to the woods. And Hess gets sucked into this trance and just starts staring down the driveway. And he keeps saying, like, hey, Pat, come on, we should go down there. Like, complete 180. And I'm like,
Dead serious.
like, you're fucking with me, man. Like, you're gonna, like, punch me in the face or something. And so, like, I'm like, all right, yeah, you go first. And he's like, they want you. They're gonna get you tonight. And I'm like, excuse me?
You come again?
Yeah, you want me to go down there alone after saying that? I'm gonna smack you.
They're gonna get you.
Yeah.
Only calling out to Pat.
Yeah. He's like,
Not saying shit to me.
no, he ignored you. Like, he was just focused on me. And he just started acting so fucking bizarre and weird. And, like, we never ended up going down that driveway. I wasn't about to go down there, like, whether he just had, like, a mental snap for a moment or, I don't know, maybe possessed or some shit. I don't know. But,
I would just be
I
like,
don't
no. Go fuck yourself.
yeah. So we eventually start turning back around, but he's still trying to, like, twist my arm and have us go back there. And as we're walking up, I look behind us, and at the entrance to this driveway, there's no road markers or anything. It's basically all abandoned. Nobody cares about it. Nobody's gone down there. There was a chain and now it's like flat on the ground. Still been like that for over a year. So yeah, it's not exactly well maintained. But we're walking back up, and the only way I can describe this is like a bubble. It was like a bubble red light, like a red light bubble, and it just popped just for a second. Pop, gone. Now there was no car on the other, like, coming down at us. There was no thing coming up at us. There was no light whatsoever. So I keep focusing on it, and that's what drove me to start walking backwards. Mm-hmm. And so I'm walking backwards, walking up the hill, focusing on Nikki and Pat Hess. He said something about us going back down there.
And then he stopped and he started yelling, "Get the fuck away from me!"
Yeah,
Stay the fuck away.
yeah, that was weird.
I just got chills.
Yeah. No, it was completely unsettling. And he's just like, he was so fucking pissed, just screaming back at the driveway. I literally had to grab him and just like, dude, come on. Like, we're going to get the cops called on us. Like, they're going to think you're wasted or something. So we start walking back up the hill.
Yelling at a driveway.
Yeah. Yeah, like, there's no logical way we can explain this to anybody. Just like, oh, yeah, he's just...
He's full of shit. That's what they're going to think.
He saw the movie It, Officer. I don't know what he's doing. But we keep walking. I'm walking backwards still. And this was right after he says that we should go back down there. And we hear this something really quick, something big, run out of someone's yard. I saw it because I was looking behind us. All I saw was a shadow, and it wasn't like an animal. It was like a stick. And no, I'm not kidding. It didn't look like a person. It was just like a stick of a shadow. And just like it went through the yard, and you hear all of the rustling of the leaves, and it comes out onto the road. And you don't hear me, but you hear you and Hess yell, and he screams, "Get the fuck away from us!" Yeah. And we keep running, and we ran all the way up to a church. Now, I'm not religious or anything like that, but I do believe in like the whole fact that like your own beliefs can save your ass on anything, really. So we went there, and right as we got up there, he just started saying this like weird prayer, right? And I don't know exactly what he did, but he even told me later that this kind of came naturally to him. He's just like, just do it, it's panic mode. So he starts saying this prayer, but on the camera, we didn't see this in the moment. We saw part of it in the moment. But we didn't notice how prominent it was, and doing the math of the light. We were standing there, and we were focused on the back part of this church where this like little waterfall pond thing was.
I don't know what the fuck it was, but I pointed it out and then it just stopped.
There was a weird noise. There was like, I don't even know how to describe the noise.
It just sounded like, not even like a small amount. It sounded like a body of water just like running.
Well, there was that little pond thing over there, but there was something. Well, fuck.
Yeah. There wasn't a pond.
I've always thought that there was a pond. There's no pond there?
No, there's no pond.
Well, okay, shit.
That makes it even creepier.
That's unsettling as fuck. But we're looking back towards where I thought that was. And in the corner of the video, you see a shadow appear on a 35-mile-an-hour speed sign, or maybe it was 25.
And it's like a perfect outline of the head, the shoulders.
Like from here up, and it's just standing there.
And the camera pans, and you just see it. And the way that there's a street light, that's the light that's reflecting off of this.
Yeah, there's like one right back here.
There's nothing in between.
And maybe another 100 feet to our right, across the entire parking lot from this church. There's one big light. So that would diffuse most of everything. And the way that this one is, it's not directly behind us. It's coming from an angle. Our shadow would go that way. Mm-hmm. And it would just die off. We actually saw it. We went back later on and tested it out because we needed to know. Yeah. But you see this, and as we're looking towards this area where we hear this water, we're like, "Shh, do you hear that?" You see the shadow just
slide out of sight.
Yeah. It slid and did not return back.
That's fucking creepy.
And then the entire way back, Hess is just like saying like, "Oh, like we should go back there." No, we can't go back there. We should go back there. Like coming and going as himself. I don't know what the hell he was doing. I don't know. I don't know. But there was one last thing that stuck out to me. And it was when we were walking, and he said that he kept feeling like something was following us. And I think he said something about something following us. Yeah. And the car alarm went off right after I said, "You just need to stand up to it. Have faith in yourself." And then a fucking car alarm goes off. And yeah, it could just be the timing of everything, but still, that is unsettling. That is unbelievably unsettling.
Okay.
But if you put all the stories together, it started off in the woods, made it out onto the trail, out onto the road, and then started following us up the hill.
Pat hasn't wanted to go back since this last...
Because it's going to come back home with me. I don't need that.
Yeah, because every single time you've gone, it's gotten closer and closer.
What if we do... This has been my life ever since this happened. What if we go back when you move out? When you're about to move out. Go back, and then you can move out. And then you're not right there.
No, because that's like opening... maybe.
Same with investigating upstairs.
No, that's what I was thinking.
I want to investigate his upstairs. It's... Your entire house would be a fucking gold mine.
Yeah.
Slender Man.
All right, so, honestly, I think we should wrap up the paranormal stories. I think we should get to the other meat and bones of this episode.
The investigation a little bit?
Just
we only talked about one thing.
Yeah, a quick touch on it. What else? Because, like we really said, there wasn't much that really happened on this. It was...
That one was not the greatest investigation that we've ever done. But like we said, go watch it. Let us know what you think. What we could have done, what we should have done. Like we said before, the way that we do things is kind of macabre, kind of out there. But we like testing certain things, seeing if there's a way to replicate. I don't know, a way of communication or something. Just trying different ways, seeing what's out there. But yeah, go watch that over on our YouTube and hit that subscribe button because we'd love to see how many of you watch.
We also have a couple, that was really creepy.
No.
We also have a couple other investigations that we're able to, there's one that it's going to be put out sometime.
Yeah, we're not entirely sure when it's going to happen. We've got to kind of keep a lot of the details private because we don't want you guys to know the full thing.
It was a pretty good one. This was a good investigation.
I will say this. The ones that you guys have been sticking around for and watching us live, we actually had a live feed going for almost 4 hours one night, and that's the investigation that we were talking about.
Ryan, you were there. You are actually someone that saw something.
Yeah. Yeah, didn't you say that there was a growling or like some... No, that was Britt that said something about sparkling. But yeah, everybody was catching different things that night. A lot of you on Facebook, you guys caught things that we didn't even catch. There was somebody named Frank at this place, and it was when I was talking to it, and I couldn't hear it. I don't know if that was just me or what, but even when you were using the spirit box and Matt was using the spirit box, we were hearing different things. It wasn't until we went back into the footage and heard some of the really disturbing responses, and I mean direct responses, like, "Hey, do you want us to come down into the basement? Ha ha ha. Come on down." What?
I think that's all we should give them.
Just what the fuck?
Yeah, so that one's going to be good. We'll definitely give you guys plenty of time in advance to look out for that one.
Oh, yeah.
So now...
And I'd say the best way to stay up to date on that is when you're on YouTube, hit that bell too so that way you can stay notified about the uploads the second it happens. You don't even have to listen to us talk to you into your face about going and seeing it.
We talk into the face and we normally talk into the ears.
Talk to the face.
Audio, that's how it generally works.
But also video.
But also video. So let's get to the review now. I want to review this. We saw scary stories to tell in the dark, so we wanted to do a little quick review at the end of this.
And if you guys seen it?
Spoilers. We're going to say this again. And now that we've said this, let's give it a little 5-second interval before we say anything more.
Yes.
All right, review time. So, now we were excited. We're from the generation that grew up with this book. So, when they announced they were doing this movie, I was so fucking excited.
And I love Guillermo del Toro. He is amazing. He's such a visionary.
So, seeing that name on it made us even more excited. And, you know, we're a little late. It's not like we saw this opening night. But overall, how do you want to start this?
Well,
I guess
we rated off a couple different things. We didn't go off on our original movie reviews that we did towards maybe like last year or something like that. I don't remember the last one that we actually did. But we kind of just went bare bones with it, kind of based it off the book. But we had our own ways of kind of doing it, and we rated it 1 out of 10.
We rated it between 1 and 10.
Yeah.
I was going to say, we didn't give it a 1.
Yeah, 1 out. Well, I mean, yeah.
Honestly, we actually had the majority of the Witches Hill crew. It was me, Pat.
We just missed
Nikki.
Larson.
Yeah. And then we had the Judds with us. And all of us were generally in agreement that we gave this around a 7 out of 10. So let's explain why.
A few of us pushed it down to 6.5, but the general consensus was 7.
Yeah.
7 out of 10. I think that's fair.
I think it's really fair. The movie, in overall, I would say is really good. It's definitely worth a watch.
It's nostalgic feeling.
It's wonderfully nostalgic.
Back in the 90s, you always had those specials that came out around Halloween. And it always was like, oh yeah, we're going out trick-or-treating. It's like almost like a feel-good, scary, spooky thing. Like, oh, it's going to be an excellent night with candy and horrors and, Tom Petty. But
Tom Petty.
Tom Petty's not in the movie.
That would be interesting.
Yeah. Maybe rest in peace. But the movie kind of runs along the whole nostalgic feel, and
there's a central plot. Admittedly, plot's kind of meh. We'll go through and dissect it in a minute, but it just kind of follows that plot, and throughout it starts telling the stories. And there's an actual book. It's actually written out, all the titles, everything, the characters, and what is written out becomes real within the plot. So that's how they tied it all together, and that done so well.
Sarah Bell.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's writing these stories, and they can't seem to stop it. And these stories that are coming out are directly from Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark.
Yes. And they actually threw in quite a few.
They threw in quite a few, but at the same time, I personally feel like they could have added just a few more. Like, right after we walked out, I wanted those ones that I said. I'm not going to say which stories, because there are spoilers, but we don't tell them what specifically is in there, because that's the juiciest part about this.
Okay, I have to read this comment because it reiterates what happened during the movie. There's one thing I'll say that is in this movie, and it was great. It was the song. Don't you ever laugh as the hearse goes by, so you may be the next to die. I have to read this comment because Pat never knew that there was an audio cassette tape.
Yeah, I missed out.
And it was like an audiobook of all the scary stories, and they did it with the voice acting and emphasis. It was kind of cheesy. But as my sister says, I remember getting the tape and listening to the books in the dark with you, Tim, over and over as much as we could get it. And we would always do it in my room with a blanket, and we'd make a blanket for it, and then we would each have pass the flashlight when we told the stories.
That's how you have to do it.
That's how you have to do it. That's why this was wonderfully nostalgic.
But the execution of the film, too. The ways that it kind of went about the originality, but also being influenced from the book, it stayed very, very close to almost spot on from the original stories. Obviously, certain things had to be adapted to kind of like link everything together, but I thought that was amazing the way that it did it. But along with that said,
let's go through the plot.
Well, I mean, the plot is just stopping her from writing the fucking stories.
So that they
I mean,
don't all die.
it's a whole scary story where, I mean, of course, scary stories are told in the dark. Oh, it's a scary story. Who knew? Who knew? Who knew? Who knew? Who knew? Who knew?
Dumb fucks everywhere.
So it follows this group of kids. They kind of, one of them or two of them are trying to spook everyone else out. Like, oh, this is the abandoned mansion here. There was a fabled daughter no one's ever seen, and she wrote stories that would kill people. Ha 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 ha. They find a secret door, leads into a basement. They find a book. They take the book, and then shit starts going down.
Oh, it was almost like a curse, because like she started writing the stories because they shunned her for being who she was, and
yes,
and like it wasn't bad, but it's almost like the plot is kind of overdone.
Kind of. The ending, there was one little snippet that I was just like, whoa, come on, how do you explain that? Should I just say it? I mean, we did say spoilers.
Yeah, fuck it.
At the very end, how they say that they're like, oh, it didn't kill this one girl, but she was sent to a mental asylum because she's batshit insane. And then the very last scene, they're like, we're going to go find everyone else that it took and get them back. And then the camera pans to the insane chick in the back seat. If she went mentally insane and never going to get out, how did you get her out?
Now, before you guys going like, well, I mean, mental health today is like treated really well. It wasn't like today's time. This was back in the 60s.
No, it was
60s. It was
60.
1968.
Okay, yeah, this was set in 1968 too.
Yeah. So, and I mean, they even showed Penhurst Asylum.
Yeah.
You ain't getting out of there. And if you are, wow, you were fucking lucky. You were lucky. Seriously, like that's a nightmare. So like knowing what we know about like psychiatric treatment back in the day, I cannot fully believe that.
That was just a little like, come on. But regardless, again, still, all that aside, it's still worth the watch.
Oh, yeah.
I definitely even recommend seeing it in theaters.
Definitely.
I would probably actually go see it again, too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw a $5 matinee. $5. Okay, here you go.
Yeah, why was it so cheap that day? Oh, anyway. No, seriously, that was confusing the hell out of me. But, yeah, no, it's definitely worth a watch. If you haven't gotten around to seeing it, I'd definitely go see it. If you haven't read the book, what are you doing?
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 I'm sorry.
Oh, man. Well, I don't know what else there is to say.
I think that's pretty much it for this episode. We covered a couple of the stories.
Got through a couple more. You guys heard the saga
The long
of the
one.
secret fields.
Yeah. Secret fields are really bizarre. If we do end up going back, I do think that we should probably try to go balls to the wall and do a full investigation there. We each take a different part of the forest.
Down.
We see how it goes.
Wait. Solo.
What?
Oh no, I'm just thinking of something like related to that area.
Oh, like you had this like look on your face like dead people.
Well, no, I just I just remembered like there was one time that me and some other people like went in there and like pitched up some tents because why the fuck not?
Yeah, there's
like,
a lot of weird
grass. There was like a lot of tall grass.
Yeah.
So, like we just threw up some tents and then like me and a few other people dipped out. Two of the girls stayed there and they like called us freaking the fuck out. They're like, "Where'd you guys go? We need you to come back right now." They're like, "We just heard voices and saw a flashlight, but there was no one fucking out there."
Like I said, the swinging light. What if that was a flashlight?
What if it was a guard? What if that's a helpful ghost and he's just trying to ward off like, hey, go away, there's something evil in here, you know? I don't know why he's Canadian.
Well, it could be from Minnesota.
It's from Minnesota, you know? Oh, you gotta watch out for the evil spookies out here. They're gonna run at you.
You see my light? Don't come down.
Don't come near this light.
The swinging light means a no.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
As always, you could like, subscribe, follow, click that bell, stay notified.
Yes, and until next week, we will see you
Wednesdays at 6.
Yeah.
This was an off. We never really record on a Friday.
Yeah, this was only a one-time thing. We're never doing this again. I hate it.
You hate recording on a Friday? I mean,
No, I don't care. I it's fun. I like going live.
It's been an interesting week this
Ryan.
week.
But he did that.
I know.
Answer it.
No.
Answer it. Hello.
Goodbye.
Witch's Hill.